A Delhi court has acquitted former Congress MP Sajjan Kumar in a case linked to the 1984 anti-Sikh riots, offering him a legal reprieve in a case that has long been at the center of debates about justice, accountability, and the search for closure in one of India's most painful chapters. Kumar, who was accused of inciting mobs that unleashed violence in West Delhi's Janakpuri and Vikaspuri areas after the assassination of Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, was granted the benefit of doubt. The court ruled that the prosecution had failed to prove the allegations against him, highlighting gaps in the evidence presented. This acquittal is significant because Sajjan Kumar is one of the few political figures who has faced trial over the 1984 riots, making the ruling more politically sensitive. For decades, survivors and the families of victims have fought for justice, battling delays, vanishing evidence, and faded memories. But this latest ruling underscores just how difficult it has been for the Indian criminal justice system to bring about closure in riot cases, particularly those relying heavily on eyewitness accounts and public memory. The special judge Digvinay Singh was clear in his judgment. Unfortunately, most of the witnesses examined by the prosecution in this case are hearsay, or those who failed to name the accused for 3 long decades. Relying on their identification would be risky and could lead to a miscarriage of justice. The court found no concrete evidence linking Kumar to the crime scene on November 1, 1984. No witness could place him there or prove that he had instigated the violence. There was also no evidence of a conspiracy, and the prosecution's case fell short of meeting the rigorous standard required to convict someone beyond a reasonable doubt. While the acquittal is a relief for Kumar in this particular case, it does not change his immediate legal situation. He is still serving a life sentence in connection with another 1984 riot case. In other words, while the acquittal offers him some legal respite, it does not bring him any closure to freedom. His exposure to further convictions may be reduced, but his sentence from previous cases remain unaffected. The case in question revolves around accusations that Kumar was part of a political leadership group that allegedly incited violent mobs targeting Sikhs during the riots. The prosecution relied heavily on witness testimonies and broader narratives of political involvement, while the defense cast doubt on the credibility of the evidence, arguing it failed to meet the high threshold required for a conviction. For the families of the victims, every acquittal is more than just a legal ruling. It's a painful reminder of what they see as the systematic failure of the justice system. For them, delayed justice often feels like denied justice. For Kumar, this acquittal might offer strategic relief in his ongoing legal battles, particularly as it strengthens the defense narrative of unreliable evidence and mistaken identity. In cases like this, where it is challenging to pinpoint individual acts of incitement, each acquittal can help chip away at the case against him. In the end, the acquittal adds another chapter to the long saga of the 1984 anti-Sikh riots and the struggle for justice that continues to echo through the years. It highlights the enduring challenges in holding powerful individuals accountable and delivering closure to those who have suffered the most.